Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the March 2022 Heart to Heart meeting. Tonight we'll have Lori and Ann Tillery from Mental Health America of Fredericksburg talk to you guys about mental health and how it can affect heart disease.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and start. I am Lori Black. I am the Senior Visitors Program Coordinator at Mental Health America of Fredericksburg, but also help with our helpline and outreach, and we're a great team. So we all do a little bit of everything, and really happy to be able to be here with you tonight, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. And I'll let Ann Tillery introduce herself.
And I'm Ann Tillery, and I work with our helpline and our suicide prevention education programs. But like Lori said, we're a small but mighty team, so we all kind of have our hands in everything. And thank you for letting us be here. We're here to talk to you about, why mental health is important, and then also what resources are out there in the area for you to utilize.
Great. And again, thank you, Danielle, for having us. As Danielle mentioned, we wanted to start by just kind of talking about the relationship between our mental health and our health. So we know that our mental health is important. It matters. It affects our physical health, and likewise, our physical health affects our mental health. And while 1 in 5 people will experience a diagnosable mental health condition in their life, 5 out of 5 of us are going to go through a challenging time that affects our mental health. In other words, all of us are going to have, at some point or another, some life event, challenge, stress, or something that's going to affect our mental health. And that's going to have an impact on our physical health. As Mental Health America of Fredericksburg, we're focused on our local needs and how we can help people when they have those challenges, whether it's that temporary challenge that they're having or something more diagnosable that needs some help. We're a local resource, but we're also affiliated with a national organization, Mental Health America. So on your screen, you'll see it says a little a visual there that says take a checkup from the neck up. They have wonderful resources on our national website for a little bit of everything. So to help you decide whether it's one of those I'm just having a challenging time right now, or if it's something more diagnosable that maybe you need to see someone about. This is one tool that we can offer you to just take a very quick online screening to figure out, am I just having a challenging, is this just a bad day, bad week, or is this something I need to see a professional about? So our mental health really is similar to our physical health in that it just impacts everything. And with our physical health, I think we're really good at sometimes identifying, okay, I have high blood pressure, that's a problem, or I have I've developed this chronic cough, or I'm pre-diabetic. We see a symptom in our physical health and we want to address it. We take steps and we take measures to try to catch something before it becomes a chronic, serious issue. When we think about cancer, heart disease, diabetes, we don't wait years and years and years to go get help. But unfortunately, a lot of times with our mental health, we do. We maybe see a warning sign. We maybe see some things building, and we just let it go. We don't either know how to reach out and talk to someone and get the help we need, or we just we let a stigma bother us. We're worried about how it's going to affect other things. But really, our mental health is like our physical health. When we see those things, if we can address it in the beginning before it becomes a bigger problem, we're going to be healthier mentally and as well as physically. So there are some things we can do. We can make some adjustments. We can reach out and get some help. We can take care of ourselves and just be healthier overall, both mentally and physically. So Aunt Tillery's going to talk to you about a couple of things that we can do to help ourselves And then we'll go on and talk also about when you recognize that, okay, I'm doing these things, I've put some things in place to help my mental health and my physical health, and maybe I'm still needing some help. We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, so Lori and I are not licensed clinicians, so we're not counselors, we're not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists, but we are advocates for mental health. And so we pulled these 10 tools to help live your life well. Again, they're from the Mental Health America National website, so you can go and see in more depth each of these kind of recommendations. So these are the 10 tools, and I'm going to break them down a little further, but it's connect with others, stay positive, get physically active, help others, get enough sleep, create joy and satisfaction, eat well, take care of your spirit, deal better with hard times, and get professional help if you need it. So obviously some of these are like, okay, yeah, no, I know I need to do that, duh. But really we recommend you go onto the website and really see in depth some specific suggestions. I was just reading through it earlier today and I was like, oh, I never, like journaling, I thought of that, but I didn't think of this. But we're going to break these down a little bit more just to give you some ideas of maybe some things to think about and how to just take care of yourself. So this is what we like to call authentic self-care, true self-care. Um, Not just, bundling up in a fuzzy blanket, although that's sometimes what we need. But this is true self-care and truly taking care of yourself and figuring out what do I need and what is going to actually help me feel better. The first is the connect with others and helping others. So we are social beings and it is really we're not meant to go about this world on our own. And so that's part of why the pandemic has been so hard is because we've been so isolated, we've been so alone, and I think a lot of us have felt that toll on our mental health. So it truly is so helpful to connect with others, even if you're an introvert, to spend time with ones that you love, um, friends, new people, in whatever way, feels safe for you. So even if it is FaceTime for now, Zooming for now, Microsoft Teams, like we're on, connecting with others, and then also helping others and giving to others, maybe less fortunate than us. Those are both great ways to help us feel better as far as our own mental health is concerned. And then Lori did a really nice job of setting up how mental health and physical health are really linked together. And so part of self-care and taking care of our mental health is taking care of our physical body. So exercising, and that can be, it doesn't have to be, a hardcore run or hardcore, um, exercise class. It can be going for a walk, stretching, yoga, just moving your body in a way that feels good and that works for you. And then of course, eating well. A lot of times we think, oh, that's just for physical health, but no, it really affects your mental health. And when we eat good foods, we feel good. And then of course, getting enough sleep is super important. I think they're recommending is 8 hours now, but it's so different for everybody. Some people, only need 6 hours. I need my 9 hours to really feel my best. So making sure that you're letting yourself, get the rest that you need. Maybe establishing a good bedtime routine so that your body is ready for sleep and ready to put your worries away for the night and get the rest that your body and your mind need. So again, taking care of your physical body is essential to your mental health. And then another sort of category of these 10 tools is, connecting with your spiritual self. So whether that's an organized religion or not, some way to really connect in the deeper parts of your spirit. So if you are religious, going to church, joining religious groups, getting involved in that kind of community, or trying mindfulness meditation. That's a really big one right now. So yoga is a good 2-in-1 because you get the physical activity and you can get that sort of spiritual connection. A lot of times too, when we are dealing with hard times, journaling is a really good coping skill, and things where you're just letting yourself be with your thoughts and listening to yourself and listening to what you need, and just taking that time to create joy in your life. Okay, so that's another one that on the website there's a really good suggestion about creating joy. So finding things that bring you joy, bring out your inner child. Coloring, I know that sounds silly, but that can really brighten your day and make your life a little happier. So all of those things, and they're different for everyone. So it's kind of all about finding what works for you, and connects with you.
And Tillery, and before we move on,
Yeah.
I see Vicky posted a comment. She said it's so hard. I can read all of these, but so hard to execute 100% of the time. And I can really relate to that, Vicky. In fact, I was sharing with Aunt Hillary earlier today. I was visiting with my mom, who has a serious pulmonary issue, and my mom and I discussed this stuff. I mean, I may not have a serious pulmonary or heart issue, but each of us, no matter what challenges we're facing, it's hard sometimes to think, okay, I have to do one more thing. And I think that when I look at a list like we put up, that list of 10 things, we don't have to do all 10 things. We may not have to do any of those things each day. But in talking with my mom, she was having a lot of stress associated with her condition, and it was causing, that added stress, that added anxiety was actually making her pulmonary issue worse. And it took some time. It's not an instant. We can't just turn it around in a day. But it took some time for her to learn that just as she needs her oxygen, she needs to learn to take time when she's feeling that anxiety to find things that really work for her to help bring that anxiety back down, to kind of, get her, make that, make that moment about my mental health is important. So right now, I'm just going to pause. I'm just going to pause. And this is important. This is as essential as my oxygen, as my, as everything else. And that took time, but it's really been wonderful to I've learned so much from her and seeing how she's dealing with that. For her, it was some meditation and some cross stitching. And so whatever it is that helps you get that self-care, just prioritizing and understanding, I don't have to do it all at once, but I can learn a little bit at a time how to give myself a break. So, and thanks, Vicki. Yeah, it's really hard when you're in the middle of all of that, to take some time and just do something that you enjoy, but it's important.
So we're going to move in a little bit to what resources are out there, and what we as an organization offer, that might be helpful for you. And we encourage any questions you have at the end of this as well. So we have kind of 4 main programs right now. But addition to our programs, we do a lot of outreach and creating unique events and unique opportunities, based on the need and what the community wants. But I'm going to talk about our helpline. So our helpline is a really valuable community resource. So we help connect people to mental health professionals in the area. So if you decide, or someone decides that they would like professional help, whether that be counseling or a psychiatrist for medication management, or an evaluation for ADHD, or inpatient programs, any kind of mental health services, that process of finding a provider that fits what you're looking for, that takes your insurance, that fits what you need, can be really challenging because the need is a lot greater than the number of providers we have in the area. And so we want to help make that process easier for you. So our database, we keep a database of providers in the area, and we keep track of that information. What services are they offering? What insurances do they take? So that what you can do is call us or look on our website. It's also available there. And find a provider that is actually going to help with what you need. So again, we want to make that process more optimistic because it can be really frustrating when you're calling places and you're hearing, oh no, we don't offer that service, or oh no, we don't take Anthem. And the list goes on and on and on. Of course, you still might have some of that, right? It's not a perfect process, but we want to help out with that. So if you call our office, we will help you find a provider that fits what your needs are. I'll let Lori talk about the Senior Visitors Program.
Okay. Another program that Mental Health America developed here, it's a local program, and I just want to add, I think Aunt Hillary may have mentioned it, but all of our programs are free. Everything, all of our services that we offer to the community at no cost. And I think that's really important because we recognize that there are needs in the community to just connect to mental health providers or services, and we want to be there and be able to help people do that connecting. Senior Visitors Program started about 22 years ago. We saw a need with seniors in our area, many of whom whether it was a chronic illness, loss of mobility, maybe loss of driver's license and can't drive anymore, they were feeling isolated. And we know that isolation is a huge risk factor for developing depression. And so we developed this program where we have trained volunteers. We screen them. They have to go through training. And then that volunteer goes and visits that person once a week for about an hour. And that's kind of our minimum. That's what we ask for. Certainly, it's been a challenge during COVID to always do that, but we have wonderful volunteers who've found ways to stay connected and keep visiting safely. Many of our volunteers have more than an hour that they are able to give. And it's really meant to be a social visit. It's really meant to just alleviate that isolation and help an individual know that there's somebody in the community that that cares, that's going to check on them, that they can talk to, they can confide in. Even if that person has family around them, sometimes it's different. You just need a friend. You just need someone that you can feel like is there just for you. And so we developed this program. It is, again, it's free. It's something that if you're interested in, or you know someone who fits that category, who maybe it's like my mom, she doesn't get out much. She really can't with her health condition. She loves having someone just drop by and visit for a little bit. So if you know someone who fits that category, you can go on our website and download a client referral form. Anybody can refer, you can self-refer, and then we get you set up and have someone who visits once a week for an hour. Now, they don't do any cooking, cleaning, medication, anything like that. It really is meant to be a social visit. Sometimes they are able to give rides or go for a drive or go to lunch or something of that nature. But just another way that we're trying to help alleviate a risk factor for a mental health condition, depression. And I'll let Aunt Hillary talk about our next one.
Yeah, so our third program is the Suicide Prevention Education, which I'm the coordinator of. Our focus with this program right now is teens and youth, because they are the age group right now that are struggling the most as far as depression and suicide rates are concerned. So this program involves going out in the local schools and providing resources to the community. So we use an evidence-based program called the Signs of Suicide that teaches help-seeking behavior. What do you do? You know, what are the signs to look for that you or your friend is really struggling? And then what do you do? And so it really teaches middle and high schoolers how to have those kind of conversations with friends and what to look for. And that it's okay to get help, but it's, you know, depression is not normal. Depression is treatable. And so we also, in addition to offering that presentation in local schools, I also am in contact constantly with school counselors and giving them support and school staff, just teachers, because they're really struggling right now, and their students are struggling, and they're struggling to keep up with all that has happened in the pandemic world. So we're just trying to, again, mitigate those risk factors and give people support in this time. We also have had support groups in the past. We used to have a couple different ones, but the only one that is currently running right now is our teen support groups. So we partner with Wellspring Child and Family Psychology. They're a great counseling practice. It's been around for quite a while. And they run a psychoeducational teen group. And so they just finished the last session. It was in January and February. And so there'll be another iteration in the fall. And we cover the cost for participating for the teens that are a good fit for that group. And so if you know any teenagers, high schoolers who are struggling with anxiety, depression, just any kind of mental health challenges, you can send them our way, and we will get them connected with the next iteration of the support group. We are working on getting more support groups running and on the ground. But I should mention that if you are looking for, or you know someone looking for any kind of support group, obviously we're in a support group right now, but for any other issue, general mental health, anything like that, grief, there's all different kinds of support groups out there. And if you call our helpline, we can help you get connected to other support groups. A lot are still meeting virtually. And so, which in some ways really kind of widens the options. You can really go to ones that even are in different places in Virginia. So for now, we're happy to connect you with other support groups until we can get some more running in the area. I also wanted, go ahead, Lori.
Oh, go ahead, Aunt Hillary.
I also wanted to mention that when we say local and we say Fredericksburg, we actually cover Planning District 16. So that's the city of Fredericksburg, Stafford County, Spotsylvania County, Caroline County, and King George County. So that's for all of our programs. We service that entire area.
Right. And really, we wanted to highlight what we do here locally, but there are other resources that we can connect you to as well. But this is the kind of the first step. The reason we're spending so much time talking about this was just knowledge is that first step. Understanding that there are resources available. Like we said in the beginning, 5 out of 5 of us are going to have some kind of challenging time at some point that affects our mental health. And so just knowing that there's help out there, that you're not the only one, that there's a place to go and find support, find some commonality with someone else who's maybe also been there, done that, or just will listen. Sometimes we don't need someone to fix it. We just need someone to listen. So really this is the first step, is understanding that, that it's okay to have some challenges and it's okay to ask for help. And that's what we hope you will do, that if you find that in the midst of, your physical challenges, you're also having some mental health challenges, that you don't wait for it to be a bigger, problem, that we address it early on and get the help and support you need so that it can improve your mental health and your physical health, because again, those are all connected.
Mm-hmm. So this slide is a handout that we have provided to Nicole, and she will, if she has not already distributed, I know that she will definitely be sending this out. So you will have this to refer to at any time. But Lori, do you want to explain these different resources?
Absolutely. Thank you. So this is really kind of 3 levels of help. If you're maybe at that point where you've tried some of these coping strategies and they're helping, but they're not really fixing the root cause, or they're they're really not enough. It may be time to talk to a mental health professional, and that's where our helpline that Aunt Hillary was talking about, that's where that can come in and we can help you. So the first one there is if you're at that point that you need a mental health provider, and maybe you don't even know what that looks like or what that is, but give us a call and we can talk through it, and we can refer you and get you some resources. The next one on our list there is our national organization has a warm line. This is not a crisis line. Of course, we do always tell people if you are feeling like you're going to harm yourself or someone else, that is a mental health crisis, and that needs a 911 call or go to your nearest emergency room. Or our Hope Starter program, which I'll highlight in just a second. But if you're just having that day where it's a more challenging day and you just need someone to talk to, our warm line is a great resource. They are open even on the weekends. They have Spanish speakers available as well. So if it's just, I just need someone to kind of talk me through this moment, that is another great resource. And then we have on this our Hope Starter. This is emergency services. This is when maybe it's gotten to that point that I need help right now, or someone I know needs help right now. They're a great resource. They will listen to you, they will talk to you, and they will help you get connected to the right person immediately. So that is more of your, I can't wait for 2 weeks to see a therapist. I need someone right now. So, all right. Did you have anything to add to any of those, Aunt Hillary?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much covered it. So it's kind of just those range of resources.
Right.
But we welcome any questions or any comments, and we hope to serve as a resource for you all.
And I can see if someone's raising their hand. If you want to just go ahead and unmute, feel free to ask.
Hi, Vicky here. And don't take this the wrong way. This comes from personal experience. The senior visitor on the previous slides, with some of the resources, are those people screened with a background check? Now, before you get offended, my mom is elderly and we had a niece that we thought was taking care of her. Long story short, I pressed charges against her, but she was stealing money. She was stealing my mom's narcotics, etc. So when I
Vicky?
saw senior visitors, I kind of like hyperventilated, like, oh, do they do background checks? Because we can't trust family, and let alone a stranger. Like my mom could never have a stranger in this house. She totally freaks.
Well, I can appreciate where you're coming from, and without sharing too much personal information, certainly understand the desire to want to keep your family safe. And we have that as well. I mean, we are very careful. We absolutely do a background check on all of our volunteers, as well as other screening processes, references. And again, they have to go through some extensive training just to be able to make that 1 hour a week visit. So it's something we take very seriously, and we do follow up with our seniors and make sure that it's something that they're enjoying. Again, our volunteers are not in a position where they should ever be helping with finances or getting involved with their medications or anything. There's some pretty bright lines that we have set there, some boundaries. So.
Oh no, thank you, and I appreciate it. What the family member did was she would take my mom to the store and say, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom," and come back and steal from my mom, and then go back to the store and pick her up. And half the time, mom didn't even know she had left the parking lot. It was really sad.
I'm really sorry. Yeah, I'm really sorry that your family went through that. Yeah. Are there any other questions about any of our services? Thank you, Vicki, for your question about senior visitors.
I just can't believe that this is not publicized more, or am I in the dark? Because man, when my dad was passing, because I'm my mom's caregiver, but now I'm hostage to a 50-foot oxygen cord. So I'm pretty housebound. And man, some of these resources are amazing. I did not know they exist. And when you said one was been around for 22 years, I was shaking my head. I even called social services, when my dad was dying, and like they didn't even Stafford County Social Services, they didn't even offer or even suggest or tell me that these organizations exist. I'm glad to hear it. It's pretty sad it's not publicized and more widely known.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we're sharing this with you tonight. We're trying our best to get the word out about our programs. Mental Health America Fredericksburg has actually been here for over 60 years. So I think we're out there and we're doing a lot of good things, but we certainly want to spread the word so more people know about what we offer. I also want to give another little disclaimer about Senior Visitors Program, maybe because that's the program that I work with the most. We call it Senior Visitors, but really anyone who's isolated, you don't have to be a certain age to feel that isolation. So we have served adults that wouldn't necessarily be considered a senior. So really it's that isolation that's the biggest factor that we're looking to alleviate. So Vicki, word of mouth is a great way to spread the word. So we hope you'll share what you've learned with others.
Absolutely. And I think I think I saw Sherry in here, and I want to thank Sherry for putting me in touch with this meeting tonight. Thank you both.
You're welcome. If there are any other questions, maybe if you don't want to speak, if you want to just put something in the chat, again, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I'll be the dominant one tonight. It's probably why Sherry made sure I joined tonight. So, I'm not suicidal. I value life, okay? But, I'm not like depressed where I want to commit suicide, but I get very sad. I was in rehab yesterday, and the first 15 minutes, the tears are just rolling down my silent face, right? While I'm exercising. It was an emotional day. I feel like a lot of times I'm a burden to my family, and that bothers me a lot because of my limitations. I call it my 50-foot umbilical cord. I'm on a concentrator. I require high level liters of oxygen that I don't qualify for a portable one. I connect another 50-foot, and now that the weather's nice, I'll go outside and I'll walk 10 minutes 3 times a day. One to the exercise, 2 to get the fresh air, the natural vitamin D. But I do have days, and yesterday was one of them. I was really, really down, and it was like, okay, breathe. I finally did my breathing during my exercise, and the tears stopped coming down. But it still made me sad. So today, when I woke up, I said, okay, today, try not to be sad. But it's hard. It's just really hard, and I don't like feeling like a burden. That bothers me so badly. Anyway, okay, rant over. I'm sorry.
Do you have any suggestions, Aunt Hillary?
You definitely don't have to apologize for that, Vicki. Yeah, we all feel sad from time to time, and that's totally normal. And especially, in a situation where, you're not your best physically, or, you wish that you could do more, that's totally understandable. If, to anyone on this call, like if it is to the point where you think you would benefit from talking to someone, please get connected with a counselor. just give it a try. And I've talked to a lot of people who they're hesitant about counseling or therapy either because of stigma, or they tried counseling and it wasn't a good fit, or they didn't have a good experience. And so oftentimes I tell people that, finding a therapist is kind of like dating in a way. Like, it's weird, and you have to have a good fit with the therapist. Um, and so sometimes it does take having like a bad therapist or a therapist that's not a good fit, to get one that you really connect with. So definitely just checking in with yourself and seeing, is this just a hard time that I'm going through, or a bad day where I'm extra emotional? Because we do all have those. Or is it something where, I should go get help? I personally believe that anyone should do therapy, even if it's kind of like more of a maintenance, like emotional check-in and regulation. Um, but yeah, I hope that's helpful, and I hear you, and I, all feelings are valid. So, um, yeah, you're not alone.
Well, I thank you very much. It's just, unfortunately, I'm also limited because of the whole oxygen thing. I mean, unless people do virtuals, I mean, I panic. I have anxiety attacks over making sure I have enough tanks just to get me back and forth to rehab 3 days a week. I've
Mhm.
been waiting for a tank to be delivered since Thursday last week, and I'm still waiting. So unfortunately, it's just hard. Anyway, thank you so much.
And Vicki, again, and Tillery and I aren't licensed professionals, but we can certainly understand. I mean, you said earlier it's like you're my mom's twin. I just spent time with her. She's counting tanks and anticipating, can I go here? And those are really valid concerns, and really real stressors. I think what Aunt Tillery was pointing out is, it's okay. It's okay to be to own those feelings, and to recognize that, okay, maybe today's just a really bad day, but if you're having uh, that many bad days in a row, that resource we gave at the beginning, maybe go online and do a little self-screening. Maybe it is time to talk to someone, and we're not advocating anybody have to have therapy, but we do want everyone to be well. And there are options. That's one of the things that Ann Tillery does a great job at, and our other helpline um, coworker, at finding out who can do teletherapy. That is one of the things that's come about from COVID, is a lot of our mental health providers are offering an online option where they can talk with you over the internet. So there are options. So just ask, and we will do our best to get you connected. And it doesn't mean, the other thing I wanted to point out is, if you need to see a therapist, it doesn't mean for the rest of your life that's I'm gonna need to be on medicine or need to see a therapist. And if you do, I mean, I'm gonna have to wear glasses probably the rest of my life. That's just how it is. I need to be able to see. Um, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, talking to a therapist doesn't have to be a permanent thing. So,
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
mhm. Danielle, I don't know if you had any other things that you wanted us to touch on, or any questions that you had.
Nothing that I can think of. I think that you guys, this was a great presentation. It was very informative, and I'm very excited to, share this and hopefully get this out to a lot of our other patients who weren't able to log on. So, um, unless anybody else has any other questions, or if you guys have anything else to share, I mean, this was a fantastic meeting. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I realize we gave out a lot of information at once. So again, feel free to reach out to us. Our phone number is on the screen. Our website is on the screen. And Nicole is going to be getting this handout out to everyone. Just reach out. There is help. There's hope. There's health. So if you have questions that we didn't answer tonight, or you want to know more, and want to discuss it more one-on-one or in a more personal setting, feel free. We would love to hear from you.